So in Photoshop, I've opened an A4 size paper, size canvas. It's not really paper. And then I place the sketch, lemon sketch, and the scanned photos of my paintings. I put the opacity down so I can see the sketch, and I use the lasso tool to cut out the shapes of the lemons. So once it's selected, I right click and then click layer via cut, which makes the selection into a new layer. And yeah, so I go around all the lemons, cutting those out. My process is really to cut everything out first and then to kind of see what looks good where and play around with that. So now I change the brightness of the lemon layer and go in to do the details, cutting all those out. And that's the real benefit of doing this in Photoshop, is that you can cut out all those details, which would be really tedious to do with scissors. And then I group these together as like their own group. A lot of objects have lots of different layers associated with them. So for me, if I group these layers together, then it just helps things be less confusing. And then if I'm moving them around or changing the color or brightness, it's so much easier. So I've made folders for all these lemons, and now I'm going into the leaf area to cut those out. Yeah, when I put the opacity down, you can see, like, you can just see more what you're cutting out and how it will go with what you already have. And so now I go into the details of the leaves. I didn't really sketch those, so I'm just kind of making it up as I go along. But yeah, it's so easy to, just be able to move the image of the blue, and then you have a whole new area to work with. And then, because I cut out so many little things in different places, I just put a new blue layer in that's the same one, but I just without holes in it, so I didn't have to think about that. And cut all those out. So now I'm thinking about, what looks good where, and what can I move or add, and put the opacity all the way back up again. Sometimes I can forget to do that, but so I'm just moving these lemons around. Something that I want to work on is just kind of knowing what looks good where, and that kind of graphic design eye that I don't have. But yeah, I really admire people who are really good at graphic design. I'm just a bit hopeless when it comes to that kind of stuff, but you try and you learn from others. So now I'm using the curves tool in Photoshop to adjust the lighting of these lemons and highlight the details that I've made. You can, with the curves tool, you can change the lighting, you can change the colors, which I do sometimes. It's a handy tool. It's cheating, but for me it saves a lot of time and effort. But yeah, I cheat a lot when it comes to art. I'm like, okay, there's this method, and then let me think of the easiest possible way to do this. But that's okay. I wouldn't say that I'm a professional artist, so I think I don't have to follow the rules. So yeah, I put in a circle ellipse tool so I can see like what's really a circle here. And I'm just adding little leaves here and there to kind of make it a more full picture. I've decided to add some yellow leaves. See if that complements or not, or doesn't. It's, yeah, like this method is so flexible. You can just try something out. If it doesn't work, then that's fine, just delete the layer. Whereas I guess if you were cutting and gluing, it might be a bit more difficult to do that kind of stuff. Yeah, so this is a final piece of what I finished with.